Hello and welcome to the Table Talk Wednesdays here at the CDL Café, where leadership isn't just talked about, it's challenged. This isn't your typical leadership conversation. This is where we gather around the table every week to ask hard questions and put character back to the center of how we lead. Sometimes it's just us, the team, sharing real reflection, and sometimes we pull up an extra seat for a guest whose voice brings fresh perspective, bold insight, and lived experience to the table. Because around here, we believe leadership that isn't rooted in character won't last. Leadership that doesn't challenge the system won't change it. And leadership that's all image and no substance isn't leadership at all. So grab your coffee, lean in, and let's get into today's table talk. Let's go.
Everybody is shiny and bright. Cameras are fully on. Got the nice backgrounds, the bright backgrounds. Yeah, I'm a happy camper today.
It's a beautiful day here, sunny, beautiful. So
yeah, nice. It's hot here. It's hot. It's hot here. So
it's so true. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good. Got my walk in today, so I'm feeling rejuvenated. So, how about you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling very happy. Today I have a beautiful day. I mean, a little bit busy, but this is what it's all about. Doing things with a purpose.
Absolutely. You got that big old smile on your face too. That is a pretty smile, man. That's a very pretty smile, man.
How are you feeling?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, how you feeling, man?
Awesome. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better. I lost weight.
Oh.
But that's good.
Yeah, they're getting sick will do that to you too,
Yeah. It has its privilege and benefits.
Yeah.
The most important to feel better.
Yeah, thanks God, everything is good.
Very nice.
So,
Absolutely.
How was your weekend? Tell me more about your achievements. How was the week?
For me, it has been going well, studying a lot, learning a lot of things that are helping me to define strategies and techniques, but also enjoying my son. He's right now with me, so today we have a podcast together. It was beautiful to have him in the podcast. So enjoying this opportunity, to build new things.
Awesome. Dr. McKinsey, how was it?
No, my week has been going pretty well. Still always looking to be able to have new clients, looking to be able to draw new clients and everything. So working on that. I'm working on a project with media outlets. So trying to put that together so that we can have building this business ecosystem from a media perspective. So so it's going pretty well. I got. I'm not trying to toot my horn. I got the physical copy. I was in this magazine right here called News League magazine. That I got the physical copy of it, but it came. So I feel this made my week. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I'm on page 20 and 21.
Very nice.
Nice.
So I got it yesterday in the mail. So I was really that made my week, looking to see that in the New League magazine, which is an excellent magazine too, by the way. So kudos to Miss Eileen and her staff that had myself and a bunch of other great men that are accomplishing some great things in different industries, because it was different industries that was profiled in their magazine, and doing some great things in the marketplace too. So so good.
Awesome.
Very
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's what we want to hear in the cafe when we meet
Mm.
after when we meet after a week, after after the the things that we've been doing. We
Mhm.
want to talk about our accomplishment, and that's the purpose of character driven leadership. We are meeting virtually, we are sitting around the table virtually, but we're talking about the past week and the things that we achieved and the things that we had, so we can tell the audience that this is what we do at the character driven leadership, and that's what the whole environment and atmosphere is all about. Talking about the achievements, talking about real success, talking about
And challenges too. Real
authenticity.
challenges too. Real
Exactly,
challenges. Yes, because
exactly.
those are the ones that
I,
also we're always confronting them, right? Challenges, transitions, things that we were not expecting. But how do we face those challenges? How do we turn them around?
right, right. Today I heard something that had me stop for a second and just think about it and then start reflecting. Chaos brings muse, or chaos help us reflect, or chaos help us think. It's I mean, like I remember things that I've been through, and it's real. Like when you are in a chaos, okay, if you are a person who is determined to succeed, you are going to find the moments where you will start reflecting within the chaos so you can make your life better. And thank you for bringing that, Atala. I mean, without challenges, we won't be here. Without challenges, we won't be creating um, lifestyle. We won't be, coming up, or making our ideas come to life. You know, and it's great. It's great, and maybe this is related to what we are going to talk about today. But before we jump into it, we have to again emphasize that in character-driven leadership, we are meant to ask questions to make you reflect. We're not here for likes, we're not here for comments, we're here for you. We want to spark something in you to make you reflect. And we come with questions with different perspectives. Like now we have me, Dr. McKinsey, and Atala. We see it from a different angle, but at the end, we meet at the center of leadership. And so the question is, what are you going to be remembered for? We want you to pause for a second before we start talking, me, Atala, and Dr. McKinsey, and have our conversation. We want you to put this at the center of the paper, of your note, or whatever, and start thinking about it. What are you going to be remembered for? Is it your results, or is it your impact on people, or your legacy, or your integrity? What are you going to be remembered for? Put this on the center of your notes or paper, and we are going to start our conversation. And I hope that you will be able to pick up the gems that we are going to um, explore from each other, from one another. So we'll start with you, Atala. What do you think of the question?
Well, I think it's just a powerful and transformative question, because when I think about it, and I spoke today also in the podcast, it's about legacy for me. What is the legacy? It's about leaving to my family, to my son, to humanity, values that can help us to face life, when we're going through something difficult, even gratitude in that moment, even though things look so, you know, maybe negative, there is always something to be grateful, for example. About also forgiveness. When something is not fair, you have the opportunity to also forgive those people, right? Because nobody can take away your purpose, your call in life. And sometimes we ignore that. Another value I would say also love, as I always mention, because at the end of the day, love transforms, love heals. Families, relationships, even the opportunity to integrate a staff, in a company. So for me, it's values. That's my legacy. That's what I think that's my call in life.
Dr. McKinsey, how important is this question?
Well, I think it's very important, and I think it's important that we, as leaders, ask ourselves that, not just from a professional standpoint, but even from a personal standpoint. It's just talking about, the legacy that she wants to leave for her family. That's impersonal. Is it, the integrity that we show our family, that we show, whether it's children or whether it's other family members that we have, sisters, brothers, even uncles, and how we treat each other, our nieces and nephews, and all, and leading with integrity, showing them, because they're looking at us, whether we want to believe it or not. They're watching us. They're watching us to see how I watch my parents growing up and how they handle certain situations, because that showed me or taught me how to handle certain
Mm,
situations, and how to deal with things, and having that integrity. If I can say one thing that my father left me, other than his name, which I carry that with me, but his integrity. And I know that because he was a physical education teacher, but he was also a coach. And he coached different sports. But I would his former students come up to me. They would see me somewhere, and I'm grown, but they would say, "Aren't you Mr. McKenzie's son?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." They're like, well, "You look the same," because I was that little kid running around in the gym or running around on the sideline, running on the sideline because my dad was the coach. But for them to say, to ask me how he's doing, or to tell me that he left a great impression on them. That's that's legacy, that's integrity, and those are the results that people don't necessarily talk about, but those are the most impactful. So that's what it means to me. And even from a professional standpoint, being a leader in a position on a job, people to solve problems or to be able to come to you, even if it's on a personal level, job. If you're one of those people that they feel that they can trust, you know, and I've always said this: if you treat your employees, those that work for you, the right way, if you treat them right, there's nothing they won't do for you. They will go through or run through a brick wall for you, because they feel and understand the loyalty that you show to them, the respect that you give to them, and that allows you to be able to get the results that you want to be able to get in achieving certain things on the job, and certain tasks that you have to get done. And then when you have integrity, and you're not willing to step back or step down because of people, that shows a lot as well too. That corporate America didn't like me too much because I didn't keep my mouth shut when it came to things. Because I would tell you if I
But
thought something was wrong.
Dr. McKenzie, you mentioned something very important, because I see, not just in institutions, in schools, in corporations, in organizations, in hospitals, you name it, we lack integrity. Sometimes we are not the leader that
Hmm.
is gonna, look at their values and really act based on them. Most of the time, we hide our truth. We hide our,
mm,
capacity, or our opportunity to face people with integrity. We truly, I have seen this over and over recently in a big institution, and I was like very surprised, because I say, as a leader, you are going to have to be brave to face your own mistakes. You're going to have to be brave when somebody make a mistake, allow that person to speak out, to see what was the mistake and improve from there.
Hmm.
Not just ignore, not just, hide yourself, to speak out, to be able to confront, right? When there is an issue, we need to solve issues all the time, but we need to be able to be visible, to allow people to express themselves, to learn from those mistakes, because in that way everybody grows, right? But I think we're lacking integrity in many different ways, sometimes in families too. Sometimes kids are learning the wrong values at home. That's why also there are problems in society, right? Sometimes in business, in schools. So I think it's about, again, as always, we talk about awareness, waking up a little bit more and more to be able to really lead with character, with integrity, and with values.
This is why we're asking the question, what do you want to be remembered for? Your results or being remembered for integrity? And both of you mentioned or spoke about legacy. In the middle of the noise that we're living in today, so many people are talking about legacy. So I was thinking, how can we shape or reshape the meaning of legacy within this conversation? Like, if I wanted to start with Atala again, I want you to talk about legacy to reshape it for those who are listening to us right now, and just make them think about seriously, what does legacy mean? Because in today's world, it's becoming, I mean, like, it's a trendy word, it's a buzzword, and people are talking about legacy, just taking the word for granted. They don't know what's the meaning. So I'm hoping that today we can reshape the meaning of it so people can understand what does it mean, because both of you mentioned legacy. Let's reshape the term legacy, starting with you, Atala. How do you describe, or what's the meaning of legacy in true words?
To me, it will be values, just one word, values. Values that you can leave to people, that when they have difficulties, challenges, they can use them and they can go through, easily, like finding resources, solutions. So values, to me. Live
Okay,
with values.
so I want you to elaborate more on values, because again, we're talking values. What are the steps for me to start having values, and what are the values that I need to think about, or how can I form my own values? Like, I want you to go into these details, because again, there are some people who might want to walk the way, but they don't know how.
Okay, I will say that, of course, honesty. I will say also courage, determination, discipline. Uh, I would say also being brave in life. Bravery, maybe it's courage for some people. Because besides love, my values that I always use, like the compassion that sometimes you have to be able to connect with people to their deepest level, the empathy that you have to have when somebody's going through trials and you're able to be, present for that person, for that staff, for that kid. I would say also the forgiveness again, because we make mistakes all the time, but being able to help somebody to go through that obstacle or that mistake and say, we're learning from this, how we can grow together in business and life. To me, are those the values that I can always, I try to always apply them, because life is always bringing us opportunities to apply them. That's the thing, hitting with situation, with life transition, with a disease, with a changing a job, with losing whatever it is. We always have the opportunity to untap to those values and apply them on daily basis. So to me, that's the framing of legacy. It's not money. It's not even sometimes knowledge. It's wisdom, understanding. Again, the empathy, the connection. In order for leaders to change things in life, we have to connect at a very deep level. We don't need to hide sometimes vulnerability. We don't need to hide that we are perfect in all areas, because we are not. We learn from each other all the time. Parents learn from their kids learn from their parents. We learn from employees learn from us. We're always learning. We need to be able to be more open to apply these values and to really, I think, live with a legacy. I think it's not just a mindset, it's come from the heart too. As I always mention, it's a combination, I would say that.
Dr. McKinsey, what's your input?
No, I think that, the word I would add on to what the word that Italia used, and I love that values, I'm going to say principles as well. When you have values, integrity goes along with those. And that's why I speak on, I always talk about that it's important that every leader, every entrepreneur, that you have a PVS and a BVS. Your PVS is your personal value system, and your BVS is your brand value system. These are your personal can be 5 to 7 words that you use to describe you, but they are your unchangeable, your non-negotiables. That is what you're going to be, who you're going to be known as, or what you want to be known. Hold yourself accountable. This is the same thing, but as far as your brand, that's 7 to 10. And for both of those, I have the first seven are the same. The last three are different for the brand, and that's my wisdom. That's my vision, my uniqueness, my commitment, my consistency, my excellence, and my accountability. I must always try to operate with wisdom, making wise decisions. Might not always be I might not always be the right one, but hopefully I'm making it because of the things that I've thought through. Having a vision, wanting to have a vision, and being able to see what it is that I want to do, where it is that I want to go, that I'm trying to get to. Being unique. I don't. I've never wanted to be like everybody else. I am, and I'm intentional about being unique because I'm a person that if they say everybody say go that way, I'm asking why, and I'm also saying, well, if I don't think it's the right way, I'm not going that way, not because everybody else. But I'm going to be unique. I'm committed. I'm committed to the things that I'm committed to, that I do, that I want to do. I'm committed to being a good leader, committed to being a successful entrepreneur, committed to helping other entrepreneurs and leaders be successful, consistent. I want to show up. I want to be there. The one thing that I'm most proud of, Natalia, is when people tell me, Leroy, Dr. Leroy, if one thing else, when they talk about me and I'm not there, the one thing that they say is that I'm consistent. I'm consistent when
That's
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be
super
there. I'm going to do
important, Dr.
something.
McKenzie. That's one of the most
Say it
important.
again.
That's one of the most important things because we can
Yeah,
have talents, we can have a lot of knowledge, but if we're not consistent, disciplined,
yeah,
committed, have a commitment to ourselves, especially, we're not
yeah.
going to go anywhere. That's powerful.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And doing things in excellence. I was taught my parents and even in business, like if you're gonna do it, don't have it. You gotta do it and do it well. And I had people that challenged me. Like, no, that's not it. You can do better. I always remember real quick story. I always remember my algebra one and algebra two teacher. I call her my second mother. Her name is Miss Reagan. Love her to death. I still talk today. I go to her church. I go to the same church that she does because she was going there before I did. But she challenged me as this 14-year-old snotty nosed kid that didn't know, trying to figure things out. But she would pick on me in class, and she would even say she would have me stay after class and would have me, clean up boards and everything. But then she would drop me off home because she but we developed this friendship, but she used to pick on me and make me do. I had to do the homework because I wasn't trying to be embarrassed in the class. And she called me because I knew she would call me, and I hated math. I absolutely hated math. But she made man what work ethic was about and working hard. and not just accepting mediocrity and not accepting the average. She poured into me. You're not average. I work hard, and she saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. So it's those kinds of things that you leave when you leave your legacy, when you leave a legacy, and when you lead with integrity, when you have integrity. Because like I said, I remember she's been in my life 14 years old, and to be able to have someone that has left that kind of impression on me. And she was someone who I admired too, because she had with integrity always.
Hmm. So let me ask you this question. I think we already we tapped into this one, but again, it's always good to repeat in every conversation
Mhm.
the same thing from a different angle. What's the silent cost? The silent cost that people pay when they compromise character. And when I say character, I'm talking about integrity. What's the silent cost?
I think you lose trust, and that's huge. When you don't trust in a person, institution, in a company, in a boss, in an employee, that's difficult to gain trust back. So I would say trust is one of the things that will always come. It's always going to be like as a result of lack of integrity. We're talking about that. And also cost in any way, in employees, in maybe in production, in maybe in sales, in clients, in everything. Because when a company lose, the I would say the trust of their clients, or the clients lose the trust of the company, they're not gonna go back. Now I remember something. When I was at the hospital one time, remember that you always remember the mistakes of a person, of a company, of a leader. When I was there, I was in the ER, and a patient came, and I even didn't know her. I went to greet her. The first thing that she told me was a lot of complaints for like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the first thing that came. I said, wow, I need to change that mentality because she is nervous. But besides, the first thing that's coming to her mind is all the mistakes that the hospital making at that time. And not the hospital employees, but we represent, right? The organization, the hospital, whatever they were working for. So I have to really go and say, how can I change that perception, that feeling, that impact that she had? I went back to human connection. And to me, that has solved many problems, but always speaking from the heart, with integrity, with really, when you connect with that empathy, understanding their feelings, their emotions, not judging them, but understanding them. And they will feel that. And that changed the dynamic, the conversation, but especially the wrong feeling, right? So I think that we have many opportunities, honestly, on a daily basis to stick with integrity, to leave not just a good impression, because I don't think the impression is enough, but a good example of how you're living your life, how you're living when there are mistakes, or when you make a mistake as well, because we're not perfect, right?
So what do you think, Dr. McKinsey? What could be the silent cost?
No, I think Talia, I think she nailed it. I think the big word is this, and it may not even just be a silent cost. I think it's just the cost overall. It could be, is trust. I think when you don't operate with integrity, you lose people's trust, and that is the easiest thing to it's the hardest thing to gain, but it's the easiest thing to lose. You can
Hmm.
lose someone's trust within minutes. And I mean, at the drop, we see it every day with things that are going on. We see it now with with the current administration. And I used to wonder, I ain't saying no names, but I used to wonder how this dude could go into a bank and just on his name borrow money. But
Mm.
then what I found out as things went on, that his name wasn't as good as I thought it was. He couldn't his name was so his name was so bad. He could not get money, borrow money from any bank in this country. He had
Mm.
to go to a foreign countries and borrow money against their bank. And to the, I don't think he can do that now. But
I have,
that's the cost of integrity.
yeah, yeah. I have a strong question for you, but before we tap into this question, I want to challenge the thing that you both were talking about, trust. You were talking about trust. Do you think that today, I don't want to say like everybody, but the majority don't care about trust. They care about winning. What would you say about that?
Mm.
That's a very good, I don't will say no a question, it's a statement. Unfortunately, people, they don't care about if they have integrity or not, if you lose your trust or not. It's no big deal. It's becoming like natural, unfortunately, right? Because we are lacking values. We are lacking consciousness. We are teaching our kids to feel in that way, to think it that way, entrepreneurs, businessmen, you name it, because everything has to come so
This is
quick.
what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I want you to elaborate more, Atala. This
To
is so
me,
strong.
this is just like a, think about it. It's like a, everything has to be so quickly. You don't have to take time to develop things. Everybody wants like whatever it has to take, whatever it takes to get it, right? So that's a
Hmm. Hmm.
mentality. That's a shortcut in life, and that doesn't take anywhere. We have to develop a strength. We have to develop a different mindset. Again, we have to cultivate our values. We have to think about how I am leading my life, how I am being an example to people who surround me, how I am leading a business. And if I'm not leading in the best way, I can always learn because we're in evolution, constant evolution. I think that it's so, what you just asked is so important to really think deeply, pause, reflect, because it's not easy.
Hmm.
Everybody's like taking decisions, making decisions, but you don't see the impact that you have. You don't even think about how I'm hurting this person, how I'm hurting maybe my staff, how I'm hurting my kids. We don't think about it, unfortunately. And it's deep, very deep.
Hmm.
I just recently, I mentioned that I was in this institution, and for some mistakes, they develop more mistakes. They generate more mistakes, but they never took their time to really, lead with character first of all, not to really see what was the mistake here, how we can solve this issue, how these students have been hurt, how they are leading with in their minds, in the social life now, many things. So I said, wow, it's interesting because we don't think, period. We react to every
Hmm.
little thing, and we don't take the time to pause, to evaluate the situation, to confront people with respect, with that kind of awareness, that wisdom. We don't. We want everything so quickly. And unfortunately, we're hurting not just, in this case, students, or we're hurting people's lives. That makes sense? And that I can see
Total
that in
sense.
many different areas. One decision that is not well taken care with integrity, or it can lead to so many mistakes. You can hurt so many people, and if those people doesn't have the support, think about it. So, I believe that we need to reevaluate things in life. How we're really living ourselves first of all, even our thoughts, our emotions. Because guess what? Whatever I'm sharing here, maybe I can share later on with different feeling. right? We usually do that in business too. We have a problem, we are reacting. We sometimes we need to really pause to see what is the problem. How can I solve it? How can I turn this situation around?
How important
I
is
hope
trust
that this
for you,
makes
Dr.
sense.
It does, 100%, 100%. And I hope that everyone who's listening can take, I mean, these are powerful questions. These are powerful questions. I mean, you guys were talking, and I was thinking, we go through so many incidents that make us stop and think. Like, do these people really care about trust, or are they just looking for results? They're looking for winning over something, covering themselves with buzzwords like trust, like legacy, but they don't know what's the real meaning. And that's why we are having these conversations. We need to stop and really think about every single thing that we're tackling, every single question that we're asking, because we are like you. We are human beings who went through experiences, um, and we came together to add value to you. So we want you to start, taking these questions into consideration and start asking yourself, like, am I really uh, caring about trust, caring about legacy, or I just want to achieve things in life and win? And so I'm gonna ask Dr. McKenzie now a question, like, why winning isn't the same as leading? How can you answer this question, Dr. McKenzie?
I said, why is it winning not like leading?
Yes, why winning isn't the same as leading?
Well, winning implies that there's some type of competition, that you're competing against someone in order to be able to do something, in order to be able to do something. Whereas leading, being a leader, is someone who is trying to accomplish a certain goal. Um, a coach is a leader. A football coach is a leader. A basketball coach is a leader. Managers are leaders. Everyone, an entrepreneur, everyone that's an entrepreneur is not a leader. So you have, and everyone who is in business isn't winning, if that makes sense. I can be a leader, and want to accomplish certain things, but I may not accomplish those goals. I may not win at those goals. So to me, there's definitely a difference in being. I can be a leader who wins, or I can be a winner who is a leader. Most leaders, oh no, I can't say that. Most, I'll say winners can be leaders, but not all leaders can be winners. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yes, it
So
does make sense.
because every time that we step forward as leaders, we don't necessarily win. We don't accomplish. Sometimes we fail, or we
Hmm.
learn. I say we fail, we learn because that formula. There's a cleaning agent called Formula 409, right? That we have here, Doc. I don't know if you're
Hmm.
familiar with this Formula 409. So all-purpose clean, clean your house, clean all that stuff. The name of of that particular product came from them failing 408 times. So
Hmm.
whoever was the creator of Formula 409, I'm sure they were a leader because they thought they had a product. They had a company that was going to have this product, but that product failed 408 times. Did they win? No, not immediately. But on the
But eventually,
409th time, they did win. because they found an agent, cleaning agent that worked. So you can,
Mm,
that's to me, that's the difference between a winner and a leader. A leader did not, that leader, whoever created that Formula 409, did not quit. They didn't say,
mm,
"Oh man, I'm gonna stop at 375. I'm gonna stop at 250." They kept going. That's what leaders do. Leaders try to, like I think we were saying, they figure it out. Okay, that
mm,
didn't work. What do I need to do in order for this to work? Or is it something that we just need to disregard altogether and understand how do we get to the finish line? So that to me, that's what winning and being a leader is.
It came to my mind
awesome.
the word of resilience, because also a leader needs to be resilient. No, when things are not working out, when you don't find the solution, you keep moving. You keep try to find the resources, the people, the different
Mhm.
kind of mentality. The different kind of approach. But you have to be creative as well. So I believe that even it's not about resisting what is happening. It's about embracing what is happening and actually um, allowing yourself to think differently toward any situation. But when you are leading with integrity, always going to be easier to find the solution. I really believe so.
Mm, 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 mm. I love it. I love it. The reason why I was asking this question is because today, again, we're living in a world where they are focusing on winning.
Mhm.
They're not looking at leading. But thank you so much, Dr. McKinsey, for showing me the difference from a different perspective. Because what you just mentioned and the story of this company is awesome. I mean, there's a moral uh, from this story that talks about the character.
Mhm.
Character never changes.
Yep.
Character is the center of leadership. The difference between winning and those who don't care about trust versus those who care about trust and leading is integrity, consistency, and the vision. And when we say vision, we're talking about something that is solid. And for the fact that people fail 408 times and make it on 409, these are
Mhm.
people who are consistent and they have the vision that is solid enough to make them fail but learn and keep moving forward. So thank you so much for this, Dr. McKinsey. I mean, we need to wake up. We need to take leadership into consideration, real leadership. We need to redefine and reshape the meaning of legacy, trust, and everything that can make us solid and make us um, lead with integrity so we can be remembered for something that we contributed to the world with authenticity. The world, I mean, we can win in everything we want, but does that help others? Is that how we want to be remembered by others, by accomplishing and achieving, and that's it? So
I
why
would
don't
say
we why don't
something
we
here.
yeah,
Sorry
why
for
don't we
interrupting.
talk about that?
What it came to my mind that sometimes it's not that you're gonna be weak if you let somebody to win. Let me tell you something. In this aspect, when you are in a team and you allow a person to express his ideas, to consider his ideas, to implement it, and even if you have a better idea, when you allow that person, you are building a person. You are building her character, his character. You are also building the generating more ideas that can truly impact not just the team, the product, the service that you are providing. But I have seen this happening. You can have a solution, and when you allow somebody else to speak out, to provide their ideas, to consider them, it's amazing the transformation. You're also leading with integrity, but you're allowing somebody to build up, to believe in that person. That's huge. I think integrity has different phases too.
Right, right. So what's your input again, Dr. McKinsey?
No, I just think that it's hopefully those that are here at the cafe with us this afternoon, they're getting what we're talking about and how critical it is in the 21st century that that we begin to place. I'll push back on y'all a little bit. I think that there are more leaders that lead with integrity than there aren't. That aren't about just winning. I think that there are more entrepreneurs. I think that there are more leaders that have integrity and lead with that than aren't. I think we just seem to focus more on those that don't have the integrity, those that are about winning at all, any and all costs. They don't care. I think those are the ones that we seem to focus more on because those of us that have integrity and that lead with would lead with that character trait, it's quiet, quiet. It's like they're not going to make a lot of noise. They're not going to be the ones that misuse people, that manipulate people, that will use any tactics that they can to get over on people. That's just not the way that that they operate. So I hope that they get what we've been talking about all day this afternoon, talking about trust, talking about how you build trust and how you lead with trust or integrity versus the results that you're trying to get. Yeah, we all want to be successful. We all want to win, but having to win at the cost of your integrity, at the cost of the trust that you built with with your clients, as Natalia said, losing that client because they can't they no longer trust you with what you say you're going to do or how you're going to get things done. um it becomes hopefully that people got what we've been saying all day today, what we've been saying and the importance of it, and taking the notes down and asking yourself, hey, am I someone that walks in integrity, or am I someone who walks in getting the win, getting the results over the integrity, where it doesn't matter to me what people think about me? Yeah, I think we have to have that small little mindset about what people think of us. We can't, we go so far with that, but at the end of the day, we're holding on to integrity over any and everything else. I mean, that's what we're about here in the cafe. That's what we're about in the character-driven leadership. It's about integrity and leading with it, not just having it, but leading with it, because that's how you build legacy. Like we said at the beginning, that's how you build it with integrity. I mean, you build legacy with integrity, and let that speak
Awesome.
for you.
Great, great, great. Well, um, as a student of you both, thank you so much for everything that you have shared. Um, my takeaway is you know how my mind works, right? Like I create frameworks. So my takeaway is to I want to become a VIP leader, a leader with
Mm.
values, leading with integrity, and having principles. So be a VIP leader, values, integrity, principles. That's what we were talking about. And the like if you don't, the cost is trust. So this is the whole summary of what we were talking about. And maybe, you know, all what we need to focus on the questions that we asked. That's it. I think that we are coming to an end for our conversation today, but for sure we're going to continue in other form. We're going to talk about the same thing because again, we're coming back to the center of leadership, which is character, and we are here to help you and equip you in order for you to lead with character. Any final word, Atawa?
When I want to thank you both because I also learn always from both of you, not just knowledge but wisdom, and that's something different. It's deeper, and I would say that integrity is something that we can cultivate, and when we are really like a discipline, it's like a discipline, you know. You do it once, twice. You do it like a part, like a way of living. Life becomes really easy. And we need to lead
Awesome.
with example because, as you said, people are always watching us. So lead with integrity and I think with the heart.
Great. Dr. McKinsey, any final word?
Yeah, Doc, you're gonna see that VIP leader again. First time I'm gonna give you credit for it. Second time is mine. Okay, I'm just letting you know. I like that. I like that. I like that being
Awesome.
a having values, integrity, and principles. That's it. I mean, that's it right there. If we keep that mindset and use that framework for how we lead, there would be so many great leaders out here today. So many. But we've got to understand that and what that takes and what you're willing to give up in order to have values, in order to have integrity, in order to be able to have principles. That comes at a cost. That's
Yes.
going to cost
Yes.
you. That will cost you,
We are
in this
we,
world
we
that
are
we live in.
dedicated. Yep. That's great. Thank you so much, Dr. McKinsey, for your words. We are here at the CDL Cafe dedicated to help you become like it's going to be our tagline. We are going to help you become a VIP leader, leading with character.
Yep.
I
I like
love
that.
it.
I like that.
Yeah, I
I
love
like
that too.
that. I
Yeah, I
like
like
that.
that too. Yeah, we definitely gotta make sure that that's a integral part of the cafe from this point moving forward. Absolutely, I love it.
This is the VIP meal.
Yep, yep.
Awesome. All right, then. Thank you so much for tuning in, and of course, we're gonna ask you to join us on Facebook. Very soon, we are going to have our LinkedIn page, and we are going to have great guests on our Table Talk Wednesdays, and also very soon, we're gonna have the Intensive Character Unit podcast to diagnose leadership cracks and find solutions for it. So stick with us. Facebook group, Instagram, LinkedIn. We are here to help you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Pick your taste and learn because we are here to equip you to become a VIP leader leading with character. All right. Until then, we shall see you next Wednesday. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right, everybody.
Alright, that's it for this week's Table Talk Wednesdays. If this conversation sparks something for you, don't just scroll past it. We want you to share this with someone who leads or want to lead with character at the center. Also, we want you to drop your thoughts in the comments. Trust me, we read everyone. And if you believe that your voice could add something to this movement, don't hesitate to reach out. We will be back next Wednesday with another conversation that matters. Until then, lead with truth, lead with courage, and most of all, lead with character. Peace upon you.